Hello everybody, welcome to a new tutorial. Today we're gonna make a satisfying looping burger animation, so let's get started. Select everything, delete everything, Shift A, bring up a plane. We're gonna scale it by 10. Go to edit mode, go to edge select, extrude this face, then select this edge, Ctrl B to bevel it, mouse scroll to smoothen it, shade smooth, and maybe go to the normals, auto smooth, and maybe scale a little bit on the y-axis. Shift A, add another plane, make it above the ground a little bit, and press slash to hide everything else, tab, and we're gonna extrude it a little bit up, and I to insert it, extrude, S to scale, extrude, I to inset, extrude down, and then it kind of looks like a plate, but it's kind of square. It's up to you. You can choose a square plate or maybe delete it and make a circle. Go to edit mode, fill it, extrude it a bit up, scale it, extrude it, and extrude it a bit more, scale it, extrude it more, inset it, extrude it down, and voila, you got a plate. Can shade smooth it and over smooth. Again, you can subsurface if you want, but I don't like that because it will disable the auto smooth that I did, so I'll just remove it. Now we can press slash again, and then we can Shift Z, scale it a bit. So now I'm on sketchfab.com. We're gonna go here and write burger, and we're gonna search for a nice decent burger. So I found this low poly burger kind of. So for me, I liked it because it's gonna be very good for my animation. It's made by someone called Nigger, I don't know why. Download your model because it's very low poly, 530 KB. Hit download and you can choose if it's FBX or GLB. Then when you finish downloading, just hop back to Blender, go File, Import. If it's GLB, click GNP format and bring it. Or if it's FBX, just bring it as FBX. And generally, the FBX models can be a bit too big, so you will have to scale them down. Of course, the burger is huge, so we're gonna scale it down, press full stop to zoom in, and just go View, Frame Select. So now we can move it a bit up, scale it more, move it down, and tweak it to your liking until it touches the floor perfectly. Alright, so now we have this empty, so we'll try to rotate it with the Z-axis. Also, it's the sesame seeds. We can right-click, can shift, select the bun, Control P, object, or Control P, keep transformation. That means this is a free bun with sesame seeds. And this is the lettuce, the tomato, the cheese, the beef, and the bottom one. So now we have to make them as rigid bodies. To make them as rigid bodies, first of all, we're gonna make the rigid body passive for the plate. So we're gonna go to the physics properties, rigid body, passive, and make it as mesh. Now we're gonna select our sketch fan model, make it high enough, and then we can select each part and make it as an active. And of course, make it as a mesh. Don't forget. So with them all, and of course, when you play, it's gonna all fly up because it's gathered up. So if we move this up and this over here, maybe this down, it's like this. Oh, when we forgot something, we need to select this thing that's under it, select this, and Control J to draw them. Now they're separate objects. Move this down, for example, move this beef down, move this up, and they're like this. They're a stack of a boulder, but they're not pretty good. Because first of all, they're like there's spaces between them. They're not super perfect. They're jaggy. So we're gonna fix all. In the source, we can play with the settings of the source of the collisions of the rigid body of each part. So, for example, if you choose base and select them all as base, they will be like this. And this final thing that we need to do is maybe put the friction up to 1 on each object and change the marking to 0.001 on each object of the burger. So now I don't think they're gonna be jaggy, but there's something. We're gonna put the friction down, completely down, or maybe 0.5 as you like. You can edit until you like it, but in the final thing, it has to be very nice because now it's super jacked. So it's up to you, actually. It's literally up to you. One more thing. You can do this as base, change the marking over here, please. And 001 also. And now it's perfect. Now this is what we need. Now we can start to make this cloth same for the cheese. So over here, everything is the same. We're gonna need to move all these objects higher, and I will explain why later. I'm gonna delete this object, Shift A, bring up a plane, zoom in, tab, and extrude it a bit, just a little bit. And then we can move it up, like really high. And then we can add some subdivisions, like 20 subdivisions, all the object, not to one face. We're gonna do like 20. And then we can add a cloth simulation. And for here we can add a collision and a collision. So we're gonna texture this also, cheese color. And now let us see what will happen. Alright. So the problem over here is that this is generating that this beef or this meat or anything is still here. It didn't have that much information that the burger is falling down. So now maybe it's fine. So that's why maybe it's not working. So we can make it to base again and we'll check out what will happen. Now everything is okay, but there's something. We can add the collision over here also, so that if the cheese fell down, because now it's not stable, but I'm just saying in case. So now we're getting to close, something close to what we want to do. Can put collisions and maybe enable self collisions, but it's gonna take a lot of time, so I don't want to do that. And it won't be to do the default thing. Unfortunately, I have to do these dudes up high, while this can go much lower. Yes, exactly. This is what I want. This is exactly what I want. I want this exact same thing that happened now. And we can shade swap this and we can enjoy the time of this. A cheeseburger. But there are some stuff happening. This is falling down. The burger is moving slightly to the back. So we're gonna fix those. First of all, both of you, scale this a bit. Go like this and make sure it's a bit to the right. Just a little bit. And now it's moving a bit left. So what we can do is like this. Now we can start to animate the plate. For the plate, I'm gonna wait till 140 frames. Till 140 frames, right? I'm gonna make this 270. And this is a bit too low, so I'm gonna make it high, and I think, yeah, I'll make it high and I'll come back. So now I have adjusted the scene, and yeah, so now I did it. It's pretty well. Now we can start to animate the plate. So we'll select the plate. I want the animation to end at 140 frames. I'm gonna press I, location, and I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go to 180 and put it over here. Location. Now, let's see what will happen. The burger, the cheese is falling down, which is perfect. So now we can bring another plate that will be exactly the same, but instead of moving the burger, it will move the cheese. So it will go to the same location as this first plate where it was, and it's gonna move it. So for example, like this 180, I'm gonna select this and delete the keyframes and go to view, grab it over here, I location 220, yeah, 220. I'm gonna move it over here, location, and let's see what will happen. But first, this has to be a bit moved. Yeah, alright. So it will be out of the sea. Of course, there's nothing, but we can add a collision. So we can go to the collision and we have the collision. So enable it and we'll see. So now I have baked the render. I baked it from here. So you go just to the with the body well and bake it over here. Make sure it's 270 and make sure, most important thing, to make the chains in the cloth simulation when you bake it over here. I baked it over here also. Make sure the end indications should be 270. So now we'll check out the animation. Okay, for me it's perfect. You move it and then the plate comes to place and it comes in 230, right? Alright. You have to do the same location as the first. If, for example, this was all 0, you have to do this in the end all 0. So it will be perfectly in line. So now it's perfectly in line, and then the cheese will move out and then it will loop up without noticing. So the camera, as I didn't mention, you just bring a big camera, make the resolution 1080 by 1080, make FFmpeg video, choose the directory file. In the encoding, choose AAC, and we go to the video editing tab, and we're gonna add the sound. I prefer to do the sound alone because it's optional to do any sound that you want. So I made this sound and I'm actually pleased with it. So it's your thoughts. What do you think? And tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching.